Boomer Sooner, everybody. My name's Harry James. It is time to hashtag beat OSU, hashtag poke choke, as the Cowboys of Oklahoma State work their way to Norman for a rivalry game. And guys, obviously we don't always get a rivalry game here in Norman. We get one every other year because our other rival, Texas, is always played at the State Fair, Texas. So for this rival, you had to think of a kind of a harder question for you. And I think I got one for you for our Sooner Stumper. It's including this year in 2018, where, by the way, the kickoff has been announced at 2:30. How many night games have been played for Bedlam in Norman for football? And your hint is that Bedlam has had both teams ranked only 6 times when both teams are in Norman. There's your hint. All right, guys, here we go. Boomer Sooner. Sooner, everybody. My name's Harry James. All right, guys, here's your Sooner Stumper. It is including 2018. How many times has a night game been played in Norman for Bedlam? In Norman, the key words are there. And your hint was that only 6 games have been played when both teams are ranked those years in Norman. Only 6 of them. And your answer is the OU and OSU have never met in the nightlife in Norman. Of course, we played there a ton in Stillwater over the years. The Sam Bradford game, Baker Mayfield's first game, those games come to mind recently. Landry Jones, that one was played at night, but never in Norman. And why is that so significant? Because the game's going to be played in Norman on November the 10th on ABC at 2:30. All right? The national broadcast team has not been announced yet. They won't announce that until tomorrow. It'll be up on the Soonersports.com website about the time that they have their regular press conference time. That's about roughly noon for their luncheon, media luncheon. But you can always listen to the local guys, our local guys. Mr. 102. That is 102 consecutive football calls for Toby Rowland. He's on the play-by-play. On the color is former linebacker, the smart one, Teddy Lemon. Also, bet they do have Merv Johnson still on. He's a color analyst correspondent. Helping on the sidelines is Chris Plank. He's from Sports Talk 1400, just like Teddy is from Sports Talk 1400. But replacing Teddy on the sidelines, the big guy, Gabe Eichard, out of Bishop McGuinness. You can hear him, on the FranchiseOK.com, 1077 in Oklahoma City, 107.9 in T-Town, up in Tulsa time. The series history between these two clubs: in 112 games, Oklahoma leads the overall series 87-18-7. That is an 81% winning clip in the rivalry. But Oklahoma State does have a recent win here. In fact, it was 2014, 4 years ago, that they came in here and won on the arm of Mason Rudolph. They won it 38-35 in overtime in Norman in 2014. But of course, the Sooners, on their way to the college football playoff to play Georgia, they took care of Oklahoma State. They did it by 10, 62-52 in 2017. Now for the team preview, we'll start in Norman, Oklahoma, with Lincoln Riley. Lincoln is in his second year in Norman. He was a quarterback for Tech in 2002 before becoming a student assistant from 03 to 05. And is in his, as we said, second year. In his one full year as head coach, 12-2. That's an 85.7% winning clip. That's a 12-2 overall record, 8-1 in league action. First in the Big 12, however, last year, and won the conference championship again over TCU before going to the bowl game and falling to 0-1 in bowls, 0-0 in his bowl record. Of course, that is because it's not a bad loss. In fact, it would have been nice to have it, but to get to the CPF, that's the college football playoff for you people that don't understand that yet. It's okay. That's how you win a national championship now. You got to go through the CPF. They got there. They played Georgia in the Rose Bowl. Lost it 54-48 in double overtime. In 2017. But that's not for loss, because they have a ton of divisional records to add to their plethora of championships from the Switzer era. Stoops added a whole lot, and then Lincoln added a couple. We'll start with the ones that Stoops added. He added them in, Stoops added one in 2000, for the divisional titles, that is. 2000, 02, 03, 04, 06, 07, 08, 2010. And then 2017, it's not really a Big 12 South Division championship, but for all intents and purposes, they were the number one seed in the conference championship. But nobody cares about becoming number one in the conference championship. No one cares about the divisions of the Big 12 South. They want to know, these millennials, all they care about is the rings. And Lincoln and Bob together have a plentiful of them. Listen to this. That's 11. Including, are you ready for this? 2000, 02, 04, 06, 07, 08, 2010, 2012, 2015, 16, and 17. And they're on their way, by the way, right now for 18 if they win it this week and next week against Kansas. Why is that? Well, it's because the Sooners are 8-1, 5-1 in Big 12 play for 2018. The 8 wins include games against Florida Atlantic, a home game against Florida Atlantic, by the way, 63-14. They then won against the UCLA in a home game, 49-21, victory there. They made up for their one loss last year. They made up for the home loss on the road at Iowa State in Ames, which right now looks a lot better than it did before, 31-21. And by the way, like I said, that win just keeps on looking better and better and better. Speaking of wins that keep on looking better and better and better, what about the final non-conference win? Army, looking pretty good. Oklahoma did get that one back in Norman, 28-21. They had to win it in overtime, but they got it. Before entering conference play again, they doubled up Baylor, 66-33. They then had the one other loss that Lincoln Riley has in regular season play. It's to Texas. They lost it 48-45 at the Texas State Fair in Dallas. But they put that loss behind them 2 weeks later, went on the road at Fort Worth, at TCU, and got the win there, 52-27. They then came back home and milded the Wildcats, 51-14, the victory there. And then last night, got a big 51-46 victory over the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock. Now that's the OU half of the Bedlam. What about OSU's half of Bedlam and their Gundy? Their Gundy is a Mike Gundy in his 13th year in charge of Oklahoma State University. His football record, D1, 114-53. That's a 68% winning percentage in 167 games. That's not bad. In 12 bowl appearances, he's 8-4. That's a 67% winning clip. That's not too bad either. 2017, he evened out. 6-6. Finished 3-6 in conference play. They did earn a bowl win over Virginia Tech to earn the win number 6. They got it 30-21 over the Virginia Tech Hokies in the World Camping Bowl for the win. What about conference divisional titles? They have one divisional title and one conference title. Now, the divisional title is 2010. They tied with Oklahoma that year. Oklahoma ended up being the team to play Nebraska in Cowboys Stadium with one of those night games in Stillwater being the final decision maker in the decision to send Oklahoma. In fact, one of the plays that really sticks out to me from that year is James Hanna for the Dallas Cowboys literally streaking down Lewis Field. They lost him. But the exact next year in 2011, the first year that they didn't have the championship game, Oklahoma State took advantage and won the conference in 2011. 2018, 7 years later, Oklahoma State looking at 5-4, but 2-4 in conference play. They got off really hot, beating in non-conference play, beating Missouri State, South Alabama, and Boise State. The Missouri State game was a 58-17 victory. They then took care of South Alabama, 55-13, and they took care of the Broncos of Boise, 44-21 victory there. Then, while Alan Bowman, I believe he was still healthy. In fact, this was his coming out party as Texas Tech blows out the Oklahoma State Aggies in Stillwater, 41-17. They get back on track against lowly Kansas. That one was 48-28. They then lose to another freshman quarterback, Purdy for Iowa State. Dropped 48 on them, 48-42 the final. They then lost to in Stillwater, by the way. The game in Manhattan then was next, and they lost that one 31-12. They then came back home, finally got back on the winning track in the Boone, and took care of Texas 38-35. Got the win there. But last night in Waco, wild things happened in Waco at 11. And that includes losing to lowly Baylor at Baylor, 35-31. And by the way, Oklahoma State actually led this game for a little bit. They actually led it with about less than 2 minutes. So, alright. Alright, guys. Hope you guys are ready for Bedlam. Man, I am. It's been a while since we have had a rivalry in Norman. Of course, that's because we always play Texas in Dallas. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. It's fun. You can catch this in all my videos on YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982. Also, on Facebook, Harry James Taylor. Or on my Twitter, @HypeManHarry. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. And Boomer Sooner, everybody. I'm out of here. See y'all for Bedlam Saturday.